and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new show.
Xavier used to be my boyfriend, then my fiance, and then my husband, so he's my ex-boyfriend.
We decided that we needed to spice this up. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It is living with my ex, of course, with my current wife, which was my ex-girlfriend. And a lot of people are like, yo, why did you guys decide on that one? We wanted to be a little bit scandalous. We wanted to have a little bit of a clickbaity vibe there going. But the definition is obviously it was my ex-wife that is now my ex-girlfriend that is now my wife. So, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome my current wife. And my only wife. Okay.
I better be your only wife. Hey everybody. I'm excited to be back today, and interesting topic and a fun topic. Sorry guys, I don't have my ears on, so I feel like we're not live yet because I want to hear myself.
Nah, bruh. I don't like those earphones. I just prefer doing it.
They do hurt my ears,
solo
but
like this.
why am
Suck. Aka's busy sinking.
like things are just not on today,
She's
guys.
sinking.
Don't worry, I'll be in it in a second. Let me just give.
She got the sinking
I
feeling.
was prepared. Everything was prepared, but I didn't realize that I don't have my ears on, so I feel like I'm not part of the show today.
No worries,
It's
guys.
not live.
So listen. What we're discussing a contentious issue today, right? It's the topic about cheating, and there's this whole thing where people ask, what is cheating? Is texting cheating? Is this cheating? Is that cheating? You know, and there's different elements of what people consider cheating. But cheating is cheating, right? And we're going to have that conversation today. Some people try to say, yeah, but I was just doing this. It wasn't really cheating and all that kind of thing. What do you say?
Yeah, right. On that note, guys, just drop us a comment in the comment section and let us know what you think is cheating. What constitutes for you as cheating? Because I know that cheating is like a big contentious topic.
Right, anytime you have to dodge and hide.
Yeah. Or
Turn
you
your
have to
phone
justify,
upside down or justify.
No, we were just talking. She was just saying hi. Yeah, all my friends call me that. All my friends. Whoa, wait. When you're in a relationship, I think there are boundaries and stuff. So what do we constitute as cheating? Why are you laughing?
Because I'm thinking about that. You know that YouTuber that I watch that goes into the cold places and us. He always does this thing where he makes a fire, right? And then his pants start steaming. He's like, yeah, that's why everyone calls me hot pants. Then he's like, no one calls me hot pants. Sorry, that was just you saying, all my people call me this. I just thought about that. Anyway, that was off the topic. There's this YouTube channel that I love watching, and I think when you attracted to scandal, right? That's why I remember that show Cheaters. There used to be a thing where they go and like investigate, and then they have these like private investigators that like stalk outside people's
you
houses.
like to watch that.
And then they watch which one comes in and which one goes out, and then they like go back to the guy and they're like, okay, we saw her going in the house at this time, we saw her coming out with this guy, and then it was a big show, right? It was called Cheaters at the time, and then obviously there were a bunch of spin-offs, and there's a lot of spin-offs actually.
But there's one that you liked like recently that
there's a lot of
watching.
spin-offs in the YouTube space now where people actually are making videos about catching like cheaters or catching gold diggers, and some of them are even at the point now where they set people up.
But that's my problem. That one gets me upset. If you're going to set someone up, the chances that they're going to fall into it is very big. Like if you're going to tempt somebody, like you are asking them to fail. And you know, maybe this person's intention was never to fail.
But that's where integrity comes in.
I hear what you're saying. But
especially if you're in a serious relationship.
If it's something that I'm struggling with and I'm really trying my utmost best not to like go like past the line, and now it's like making a needle lay around for a drug addict. Like I feel like it's the same concept. Like you keep drugs away from a drug addict. You don't just let it lay around and let them see it or whatever. You try to protect the person. But now you're just setting up this person. I'm not justifying. I'm saying I just think it's wrong. If you're going to look for something, you're going to find it.
Yeah, but still, it is wrong to obviously put a person into that temptation, high level of temptation. So what these guys do, right? There's two channels that I watch. There's one, I don't know if I should shout out these channels. Now let me not shout them out, bro.
Don't shout them out.
They're getting just free clout on me. But there's two channels, so they do this gold digger tests, or they do these like loyalty test things. And I guess if you type in loyalty test, those channels will pop up.
Yeah.
But they do these loyalty tests where they like purposely set someone up.
The purposely setting up upsets me. However, the funny part of the show is the gaslighting from the guilty party. Like,
So now the person gets caught for
"Dis
cheating.
verkeerd my ou."
Now they're like, but you set me up. No, but you cheated.
wasn't going to.
Yeah,
Whoa,
but
whoa.
I wasn't going to cheat. You set me up. It's like, oh, my bro, you were wrong. You made nonsense.
Well, there's some truth to it, but let's not use it as a means of justifying for something that we were going to do. So that's what I'm saying. I do get upset when you set someone up for something like that. And, because I'm the type of person that I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. And if you betray my trust, that's up to you, my guy. I'm not going to set you up and try to, try to catch you out or whatever. But if you fall into something, that's you. I gave you the benefit of the doubt. I trusted you wholeheartedly. And then after that, you've given me reason not to trust you. And then that's on you. It's not on me. But to set someone up, I feel like you're setting them up for failure.
To purposely set them. So anyway, so I sat there and I watched these videos, right? And they're very intriguing to me because they're very... they're interesting to me because I like to just see the psychology as to how people get set up and how people actually get caught. We got Kanisha watching, saying good morning, Pastor and Anka. Thank you so much for jumping on. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. So here's the thing, right? For me personally, there's a psychology shift that happens when you actually finally decide to take the marriage or the relationship serious, right? And I think that's the psychology shift that you have to have. Look, there's a certain psychology that goes with being single. Right, you're dating, you free for all, you have time for yourself, you have space for yourself, you have everything for yourself. So it's very easy to kind of. I feel like you're not listening.
I am. It's very easy to kind of. I'm just looking for the comments.
Okay.
You did that to me last week. What is this now?
So what is this now?
Tat for tat.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna show you now because that's what you did to me. Now I'll show you I do it to you.
But
also.
am I not justified?
No.
Why? The Bible says, "Do
Okay.
I do as you want them to?"
Exactly. So you want me to do that to you?
You've been doing that to me, my guy.
backfired yourself.
Whoa. My guy, you've been doing that to me. Moving along.
Alright, so there's a certain psychology that goes with being single, right? Number one, you have the time for yourself. Number two, you have your space for yourself. Especially if you are single and you kind
get
of...
to be selfish.
Yeah, especially if you're single and you have your own space. Like you have your own townhouse, your own apartment, your own house, your own space,
I
whatever.
feel like that's dangerous territory, but okay.
Why is it dangerous?
Because you have your own space, you have all of this, so you kind of like build a sort of like lifestyle that you get used to, and then it's difficult. So when you're in a house, usually basically how traditions used to be, especially I don't know if that's across the board, but usually in colored households, it's like usually you meet someone and you get married out of your parent your childhood home from with your parents. You've stayed with your parents, and then from there you move on to into a house. And my experiences with that is that it sets up certain boundaries already, because you have to share with your brothers and your sisters, and you know that your parents expect you to be home a certain time. So there's certain boundaries that sort of become unset boundaries that are already set when you do get married. Now you don't struggle with these boundaries when you get married. You don't. I mean, those are conversations we've never had. But you've never had an instance with me where I come home 12 o'clock because I was out with my girls' night. I don't understand that concept.
So here's the thing, but that's exactly the thing. So you get single psychology where you're used to your own time, you're used to your own space, you're used to making decisions where you want to make decisions. So if you decide after work you're gonna go somewhere, you go somewhere. If you decide after you decide this weekend.
Sorry, Laneef commented, "Hi Laneef, can someone set me up?" That is related to the whole channels you were talking about.
Set me up.
Yeah.
Oh, to fail. Set you up for failure. So,
no, he just wants to see something real quick. And then good morning family from Nikita.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much for jumping on. So here's the thing. I'm going to say this again. So let me say what I want to say, man. Stop doing things while I'm talking. Yeah. So you have your own time, you have your own space. After work, you can decide you want to come home, go wherever you want to go. If you decide on the weekend you're going to go somewhere, you can literally pack a kit bag and decide, I'm out, I'm going somewhere for the weekend, and that's it. If a group of guys all say, gents, we want to do, doesn't now come from a guy's perspective. You have your friends, you have your friendship circles. Gents, this weekend we're going Wombats. Okay, Shapa, we all jump in the car, we go Wombats. Now this weekend I'm thinking, let's go Kruger. Okay, Shapa, we all jump in the car, we go Kruger. Now, that's a certain psychology that you have. Attached to that psychology let's say you're in the dating phase, right? And so now you're looking obviously for somebody that you want to spend some time with, you want to spend your life with. Now what happens is in the dating phase, you say what makes it worse in 2024, right, is that you have all these, you have Instagram, you have Twitter, well, X, you have social media platforms, you have Facebook for the older gen, you have all these things, right? And so now your options has become so vast, right? Because now, and remember, someone's Instagram page is basically their CV, right? It's their catalog. It's they're posting the nicest pictures of themselves. They're posting their butt pictures. They're making themselves. They're putting filters. They're putting
The
all
sales pitch.
It's their sales pitch, right? It's their nicest makeup.
Really?
It's their nicest. Okay, which
I'm
woman
just
do you
asking,
know in your life that's gonna
guys-
post a picture? My no makeup day, guys. They do it because there was a trend at some
There
point.
was a trend.
But no woman.
I think for me specifically, I think I live under a rock. And also the time we dated and stuff, there was no Instagram. And the time when we dated or when we got to know each other was when Facebook just came out, and it still took long to load. So if you clicked on a page, it took forever to just, and I was too lazy to wait it
No,
out.
you just had bad internet connection where you were loving.
Okay.
Shots
Moving-
fired.
Moving along swiftly. Yeah, I mean, so for me, we didn't grow up in it. So even now, I rarely ever post because I feel like it's so much work. You need to put on makeup, you need to do this.
but
you need to
remember,
do that.
you a different generation. This generation
I'm not that
now,
old.
yeah, but you still you're millennial. Now we already have Gen X, and you already have Gen Z, and no, Gen Z and Alpha and all that. So here's the thing. Even you, when you post, and especially women, now more lately Gens has started doing it also, but before
I think
Gens
there's a lot of Gens,
Gens
yeah.
didn't worry, but now
got
they're
the
starting
muscle
to, now it's
pictures
you
and the-
got that picture just right and
Or
all
that
that.
suit picture.
But yeah, the suit picture, they go into a funeral, but now we started serious
and
suit
the
picture.
shades or the watch, and it's like
I'm starting so with a watch. Success is about doing things
You got
the
this
right
hectic,
way.
like you're a successful man, but I saw a meme the other day that said, but dudes be taking one picture with the suit and posting success quotes. Can I just go to the wedding my own?
Or go to the funeral or wherever you were on your way to. So, but women especially go to the extreme. It's the filtering. It's the, no, my eye doesn't look right in that picture. No, that one piece of my hair sticking out. Guys generally don't care about that, right? More so the woman will be like, oh no, I'm not standing right here, take another one. I literally know women that makes me take 100 pictures.
Who are these women?
That makes me take 100 pictures. Like, we going to an event, or we at a wedding or something. So you can just take a picture of us quick. Now they're standing. Come and see that picture. Come and see that picture. Oh no, this one is not right. Oh, look at my leg here. Oh, look at a piece of hair that's sticking out here.
You don't get
Oh,
that
look
from
at
your
this,
wife,
look at
no.
that. And then end up deleting like 15 of the 20 pictures. Because they don't like this picture or they don't like that picture. Why? Because when it gets posted, it's like, oh, you posted the one where my eye looks a little bit skew, where my one eyebrow is not right, or my one eyelash is sticking this way. It's like, so those things. So what that said, that's the point I'm making. Where this is their catalog. This is where they harvesting clout. It's where they're harvesting the likes, where they're harvesting the views. Which where they get, when they go out and can be able to say, yo, I got 5,000 views. This is the social media trap of dopamine injection, of the more views I get, the more likes I get, the more comments I get. It's propping up my ego, right? So this is your catalog. It seems like you want.
Yeah, so Perez Cortez is back. Welcome back. We're happy to have you back. She says, hey, y'all, it's been a while, a highlight reel, or you can be whoever you want on social media. Who you want to be on social media, and we are vain creatures.
So here's the thing.
Which
So
is true.
that's your highlight reel. So I'm in dating phase, like back to dating phase, right?
Mm-hmm.
Back to dating phase. I'm in dating phase. Now I'm busy looking for someone. Now I'm busy checking. Hey, yo, this one, let me see how this one looks. Oh, this one is nah. Yo, this one is nah. Yo, this one is nah. Now, obviously, you're seeing their highlight reel. You're seeing all the nice pictures that they are posting.
But they made an effort.
They took 20 pictures, but they post that one that came out
And they
just
got
right.
dressed and they did
And
everything.
never mind that one that came out just right. Even that one, with the advent of artificial intelligence, the advent of filters and all of this, that thing is filtered to high, right? All the stretch marks is filtered out. All the
Why are we focusing on women's pictures here? I'm just asking for a friend.
because women do this. Gents
Yeah, but
don't
gents also
necessarily
do that.
this.
Gents also,
They do. Gents do
put
it.
the shade in the
but
5 o'clock, the 12 o'clock
if you
shadow and those
taking
kind of things.
if you taking from 0 to 100 of
Bit of a
women that
beard.
are doing and 0 to 100 of gents that
No,
are doing.
I think gents are on the same level as women are now. I mean, if you have to look on social media, you'll see that
Nope.
that the man
Nope.
unit, that even you can put on your own
Nope.
beard and beards kind of thing.
Nope.
I think it's the same thing.
Anka, if you take 100 women,
My ladies out there, let me know if it is the case
Anka,
or am I just...
if you take 100 women and put them in a room, and you take 100 gents and put them in a room, and you say, okay, gents, post your selfie. About 80% of those ones, I just want to take a picture and post it. But 80% of the women are going to be putting filters, removing blemishes, trying to make sure, taking 12 pictures and choosing the right one. That's just how it is. That is how God made us. So there's nothing wrong with that. But what I'm saying is that you, back to my original thought, you are in dating mode. You have a catalog that you can look from. The catalog is very enticing because it's pictures of butts, it's pictures of boobs, it's suggestive images, it's all these. So your catalog is very, very wide and open.
And I think there is a disturbing thing. Obviously, an algorithm is meant to give you this type of content that would be most appropriate for you as a male or most appropriate for you as a female. Like if you'll go into my catalog, you'll either find pictures. Like if you go into the search button on Instagram, you'll find Instagram pictures of like maybe nails or whatever, because that's either stuff that I already looked at or stuff that I might be interested in as a female. But when I open a Jane scan, this is like in general, like if a profile and you go there and you press search, it's literally just women like with back pictures like this and stuff like that. I thought this is a disturbing trend. How is that for setting up someone?
So that's the thing. Now your options are open. You have, let's say you're a good looking gent, right? And you're entertaining these options. You're dropping into people's DMs. They might be responding. You're a good-looking guy, you're an attractive guy, whatever. Now they're responding. Now you got 15 girls in your DMs, right? They all responding. They're all there for you. Now you decide, okay, which one do I want to go for? Now I want to have some coffee with X. Okay, now you're going out with X. Now I want to have some coffee with Y. You go out with Y. You get there. She looks nice. She smells nice. Everything. 15 minutes into the conversation, you decide, it's like, mentally she's not really there, or she's not stimulating me in an academic way or in intellectual way. Intellectual is the word I was looking for. Intellectually, she's not really there. She's not really giving me that. She's pretty and all that. Lekker. You meet, now you meet X, Y, Z. You meet W. Now she comes. Yes, she looks nice. Everything is quiet. Now you find there's something that you don't really like about that one. Now your options are so open, but the options are so wide that you now have option paralysis. It's like option paralysis is a real thing. You give someone 15 choices. I like the blue one. Oh no, wait. Okay, the black one is better. Okay, then the green one. It's like, bruh, just give me 2 options so I can choose between A and B, so I can just get on with my life. But now I got a million options. It becomes difficult to choose from. Now you start falling into a habit of doing that. Every weekend you're out on a date with this one, and the next weekend you're out on a date with that one, the other weekend you're out on a date with that one. So at which point, now this is a disturbing psychology that you're putting yourself into, because now at which point do you settle down? At which point do you choose which are the things that you're actually looking for in this person? I want to actually be with this one. Let's say now you move from dating phase and single psychology phase, you get up into your late 20s. And you finally decide, you know what? I want to settle down. I'm getting old. I can't be every weekend up and down. Let me choose someone. Now you choose someone. What happens in that space of mind is that there now needs to be a psychological shift into relationship psychology, into relationship mode, allow me to finish this quickly. I've gone in from relationship mode, from single mindset into relationship mindset, and it's an actual psychological shift that you must intentionally tell yourself, all right, now I need to see this thing differently. I need to actually put myself into relationship mode now.
I think this is where it's very important, and I've said this before in previous shows, maybe not on this one, but I think on the Gap Fest, where I've said that it's so important for you as an individual to set out what are the goals, what are the things that you want in a relationship, and bearing in mind that if you're asking of that, you must be able to bring the equivalent to the table as well. So for me, it was a thing of I set out certain rules. This is what I wanted in my future husband. This is what I wanted from my future marriage or whatever. And then you start looking at that. But if you don't have a sort of basis to work from, if you don't have like what you call your why, if you don't have like this is what I want, then that is where you start going like into option paralysis. Now the table is full of things, but because you didn't really set out a focus or a focus demographic or area, now you've got too many options, and now you're picking here, and now you're not satisfied with this one because this one has this, but this one doesn't have that. It becomes that kind of thing.
This one has the personality, but she doesn't have the
look,
body.
yeah.
This one has the nice looks, but then it's difficult to have a conversation.
You must obviously not be unrealistic about this list. I know that in my time when I did this, my first and foremost thing was I want to get married to a virgin because that's what I'm bringing to the table. Then this other thing was that I wanted a man after God's heart and who is in ministry but understands family. These are the type of things that I wanted. And a lot of people said, oh, but that's like a high bar to set. Yes, it is a high bar to set. But if you're not going to set something, you're just going to get anything.
And there's the element of spiritual aspect also where you actually prayed about it.
I prayed about it, and also
God actually stepped in and actually made sure that you get what you asked for.
That's true, but I also had to be there spiritually, but also on that level to say, okay, my relationship with God is on this level, and this is what I expect, and this is what I bring to the table. So yes, there is. That's sort of like you must also bring the effort to it. You can't sit there, live your life, do whatever you want to do. I mean, that's your prerogative, but don't expect something from someone that you can't bring to the table. It's the same concept of me. No, I just want to sit at home. My husband must bring home $1 million. My husband must do this. My husband must do that. Meantime, I've got nothing that I bring to the table. I don't want to cook. I don't want to clean. I don't want to do anything. There must be a bit of give and take when it comes to these type of things. But let me just jump into the comments. Llewellyn says, I think that most millennial men and younger are more superficial than that you realize. As a hint, look at little things like what they do with their eyes. That's true. They do this. They do this like smoldering look, and how they show their best angles and muscles and stuff. The fitness guys are also posting more gym and exercise pics than ever before. The intellectuals are posting pics with books on laptops, etc. It's the catalog, like you said. And I like Llewellyn's comments because Llewellyn works in this sphere of like seeing what people do to sort of like sell themselves. Like
but that's why I said now recently it has become more where Jen started doing this. Remember, first, Jens never used to do that. Jens just take a picture and post. They don't worry what it looks like.
And Felicia's here. Danky. Felicia says, guys do the same. I'm with Anka, and good morning, beautiful couple from...
Guys do this, and I'm admitting that guys do the same. I'm saying on the level. There's no man with a blush app on his phone. I can tell you that for free. Or if there is, the percentage is low.
My guy, we're living in a sphere now where you can choose who you want to be, what you want to be.
If listen here, gents. If there's what a blush app on his phone, then yeah.
What is wrong with that? We are in 2024.
Then Naomi might be playing for a different team. Then Naomi might be into the alphabet community or something. But a normal heterosexual guy. Or just a normal guy. He's not, okay, if I'm speaking for myself and the people that I associate with, he's not going to take a picture and then first go and edit it but most women that I know is going to do that. In my immediate space, there's no guy that I know that will do that, but all the women in my space will do that.
All the women, I don't do that. I don't even know how to.
Maybe you look at 15 pictures and say, this one's not right. Ooh, this one's not flattering.
I do that, but I don't put focus on it.
There's no Jen that will do that. Jen will just say, but I just post a thing when it's alright.
No, but you literally, my eye looks like this. Then you post.
But what you're saying is exactly the point I'm making.
I hear what you're saying, but I won't be posting. I don't put a filter on. I don't know how to use the filters because it's just like post it straight. It must look good. My hair mustn't look like it's standing all over the place.
But what you're saying is the point I'm making. Yeah, but a gent is not going to sit there and say, hey, but my trim is
not right. Llewellyn literally just said that. But anyway, moving along swiftly.
So now there's a psychology that goes with dating psychology. Like me, I was trapped in the dating psychology space, where relationship psychology, where straight after school I was already in a serious relationship, right?
I feel like you were already married before you married me.
I was already in a serious relationship. It was already long term. Because the thing is, I've always approached relationships with the mindset of, I'm not going to be jolling around. I'm not going to be doing random stuff. If I'm with someone, then this is the person I'm going to be with. Then this is the person that I want to plan things with. So my mindset was always, okay, if we're here, let's be here, let's get this thing done. So now you get into the mindset of becoming accustomed to having somebody around. So you have basically what the kids have, like a comfort, like a comfort blanket, or like Taya that sucks a thumb. It's like a comfort thing. So now you're so used to the good morning message. You're so used to the good night message. You're so used to what are we doing on the weekend. You're so used to we're going bowling this weekend. We're going skating this weekend. We're going to the movies this weekend. So now you start kind of tailoring your life around the other person. So now that person becomes your life. So what happens in that case is now when you break up, Naomi goes into deep depression because now you don't know what to do with your weekends anymore.
It's kind
You
of like
don't
a little
know.
divorce.
It is like a little divorce, and more especially if you were intimate, sexually intimate, or you took it to that level. Then technically,
It is a divorce.
it's a divorce. You know. So now you break up. Now you don't know what the heck's going on. You feel like the world has come to an end.
And actually, in the confines of, we do have confines of marriage where there's an actual contract and we, have a ceremony and all of that. But if you really have to look at the technical analysis,
Consummating
is marrying the person. So if you've consummated with someone, you've already married. So if you've consummated with a couple of people, my guy, oh my God, you are a polygamist. I'm just saying.
If you consummating
Constipated.
If you consummating every weekend with someone else, that's why your psychology is off.
It's off.
That's why you can't figure it out. That's why you're trying to make sense of things and it's not making sense.
No matter how you want to look at it, I know that the culture now says, and especially in Western culture, what it now says is that, you have to test drive the car. You have to first get to know the person, all of that. You become tied, you make soul ties with this person and it never leaves you. And every time you're with somebody, you leave
But the
something
thing is,
behind.
just because
and
the
take
culture
something.
pushes a certain
It
thing
doesn't
doesn't
make it
make that thing right. And it's been proven a million times where people just come back after the fact. How many conversations have you heard, and how many podcasts have we listened to, especially in the space of marriage, where people come and they admit afterwards, if I knew what I know now,
I would have waited.
I would have just waited. I would have just done this thing properly because this thing took me on a roller coaster ride. But that's the point. Now, if you come from the beginning, like I was a youth pastor so many years, and I come from the beginning and speak to young people and say, gents, ladies, listen, I'm suggesting you do this thing the God way and rather do it right. No, you can be better all by myself. I can be with whoever I want. This
God will
weekend I'm
forgive
with
us.
that one, the other weekend. Yes, God does forgive. But the psychological damage that
It doesn't
you
go
are
away.
putting upon yourself, you wonder now, 15, 20 years into your marriage, why is this thing bothering me like this? Why am I? And this is, you might be thinking, well, what does this have to do with the topic? This is literally gearing up towards the topic of cheating, because this is where the cheating actually stems from. That's why I started at the beginning.
Laneef is busy with you, and I know exactly who he's speaking about. He says, Xavier, your one buddy has blush filters on his IG, eyelash filters too. I won't mention names.
But exactly. Now, and
Thank you, Laneef. Thank you.
okay, now here's the thing. Now, as a normal gent, if you see that, what are you thinking? Okay, gents, no, what are you thinking?
Whoa,
As a normal gent, you looking at us, man, you thinking, this man is sus.
Whoa, but
A normal
90%
heterosexual man looks at that and thinks, this man
the
is sus.
specific guy that he's speaking about sells himself as a gent for the guys, for the girls. I mean, like a gent that he's just flexing for the girls.
But every guy I speak to asks me, my brother, bravios, is that man straight? But that's exactly the point I'm making. A normal heterosexual guy doesn't do those things.
But okay, before
A normal who doesn't do those things.
we digress. We haven't even gotten.
It's you that keeps on taking us back
No,
there.
we digress. But I'm just saying, for the sake of the argument, you said in my immediate circle there's no one. All you were saying is, and guys, Laneef just came through for that. All he is saying is that in your immediate circle, you have a gent. I'm just saying.
That people think is gay. But that is exactly my point. I say the gents that do that, it's like the people are like, is this man straight or is he gay? You understand what I'm saying? So that's the point I make. But back to the point, man. Anka, stop derailing the point, man.
It's not me, it's Laneef. But moving back to what we were saying is that I always say this, getting back to the point, and in terms of marriage and cheating and all of that, because we need to get to the actual points of cheating. But I always say that marriage is difficult in itself when you don't bring baggage. And I'm not saying me and Xavier didn't bring baggage, because everybody has their own issues or whatever. But we got married as virgins when we got married. And then, you know, we didn't have children, we didn't have like family issues or whatever. We just really got, and marriage was difficult from the start. My first 2 years of marriage was atrocious. Xavier will attest that I don't think we were just swimming to get past the first 2 years of marriage, and it grew into something where we did fall in love with one another as a person. I think we were enamored by the whole, you know, whimsical idea. We just met and that kind of thing. But then later on, it became beautiful, but it was difficult itself. I can't begin to imagine if there was other skeletons in the closet.
How much more difficult it would have been.
How much more difficult it would
But
have
here's the thing. So a lot of times where people cheat, there's a vast array of reasons people cheat, right? But a lot of the time, it comes from the point of, it's very distracting when I'm
Sorry,
making
I'm just
a
reading the
point.
comments.
It comes from the place of the psychological shift that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Where you are now in a space where you are married, where the responsibility has shifted, where you have children, where you have a home that you need to come home to. And if you are applying your single behavior mindset in a marriage circumstance situation, where you still think it's okay to come home whenever you want, where you still think it's okay to not tell your wife where you're going and what time you're coming back, where you still think it's okay that on the weekends I'm going with the gents, here, there, and the other, where you still think it's okay. There's a psychological shift that needs to take place where you actually begin to engage in a marriage, or when you're taking a relationship more seriously, where you actually have to cut off certain things. Am I saying you mustn't have friends? No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you have to curb on the friends and say, gents, you all know I'm married now, I have a family and all of this. No problem, we can go somewhere, we can do things, blah, blah, blah. But it now can't be every weekend.
There's boundaries.
And it can't be now every time we come in home, what time and what time and what time. Once in a while, no problem. I'll speak to my wife. We're going to now and then go here, we're going to do that, we're going to play a round of golf, we're going to go and watch the game somewhere, whatever the case might be. That's fine for now and then. But the psychology shift has to take place where you now have to actually put your family first. And a lot of times, this is where people are getting it wrong. They're coming into something serious with their previous way of doing things, where they feel they could still date, they could still come home late, they could still do whatever they wanted to do.
And also, I think the myth here is that a lot of people think that it just comes naturally. Like the shift will just happen naturally. It's not. You have to intentionally make decisions that to say, okay, this is what I'm going to protect, this is what I hold dear. Because if you think something is important, you are going to put that as a priority. You're going to put certain things in place to keep that as a priority. So you have to intentionally make those decisions to say, okay, fine, I'm married now. I can't be going out till 2 a.m. because I have a wife at home. Whether you have kids or not, you have a responsibility at home. Especially as a guy, you have to come home, make sure your wife is
and
safe.
vice versa also.
That's true.
Ladies used to go, ladies weekend, we going here, we going to that club, we going there. Yeah, boss, he's getrouwd gaan huis toe.
That's true. I didn't know that because I didn't know
You
the
didn't
part
have
thing.
that-
Like
that
I grew up
culture,
in a very protective atmosphere. Like even my brothers were overprotective. And then my father was very overprotective. I was very sheltered. I grew up very sheltered. And then when I got married, it was easier for me. I think because I think I would have fought against certain things because of the structure and everything. But I didn't. I knew that 10 o'clock is a reasonable time for me to be out. If I'm going out with friends, and usually my friends are older than I am, so we'll be sitting at a coffee shop or a restaurant or something. We won't be going out clubbing or dancing or whatever. Not that I could dance to save my life, but it's not stuff that I was used to. But even going out, I wouldn't be sleeping at a friend's house because it was too late to drive or whatever. 10 o'clock I come home, and if there's an issue with safety, whatever, my husband will come, he will come, make sure, or either drop me off there, because that is the boundaries and the protection that should be coming with marriage, to make sure that each one is safe and that, we respect each other. Also, when I'm out, I'm not greeting other guys flirtatiously, and I'm not speaking to other guys because I need to get a drink or whatever, a free drink or whatever. Those are things that is just not kosher in marriage. So those are boundaries that you need to intentionally make to say, okay, fine, this person's my person. This is what is inappropriate. This is what is incorrect. I also don't text. I used to have a lot of guy friends from high school. Most of my friends in high school were guys. There were boundaries I put in place, and that I stopped speaking to certain people because, not like I can't talk to you anymore. It just sort of like fizzled out because our conversations weren't the same anymore. Because I've got my husband to respect and protect. And how does he feel? Because yes, there was people that used to call me, hey sweetie, how are you? And we were literally just friends. But I can't have them calling me that when I've got a husband. My husband's going to think.
I think it's also an element of respect on their end.
Yes.
You must now know this is a married woman. You know this is a married So if you purposely being flirtatious, that's also disrespectful on your end.
But I think some people don't have that cognizance. I think you only start realizing the boundaries of marriage when you in a marriage. Some people like come up to you, even like siblings or whatever, will say, yeah, but who does he think you are to say this? It's like, yeah, that's my husband or that's my wife. I think people's mindsets change when they actually get married and understand the confines of marriage themselves within the confines of marriage. Then they start understanding it. So I think when you're single, your mindset is really different. I think I had the same when my oldest brother got married. Then I was like, yeah, but why does he do this? Why does he do that? It's like, whoa, he has a wife to consider. He must first ask his wife. And then when I got married, then I understood, whoa,
you can't just make decisions.
You can't just make
anymore.
decisions, yeah. And you can't just do things for other people because, you must consult one another and acknowledge, because that comes with a certain level of respect for each other.
Let's talk about, Did you want to read a comment or something?
No, there's
I want to get into the points.
Yes.
Yeah? But before we get into the points, I want to just touch on what constitutes as actual cheating. I don't know if those are covered in the points you've got there.
Well, I think that kind of like is a show on its own. But for me personally, if you're speaking to somebody like at odd hours at night and you are speaking, don't tell me we're only speaking, it's not cheating. When you're speaking to somebody that is not your husband and it's inappropriate content, or you're becoming emotional, or you feel some sort of way speaking to this person, that for me is just cheating and kla. Because there's certain boundaries that must be in place. I can't be sitting at a coffee shop with some other gent. It just doesn't work that way. Like, if it's not for work purposes and it's not out in the open where it's open or whatever and it's professional, all of that, I don't think it's appropriate to meet after work for coffee or something.
And my thing is this also, and if you are hiding it from your significant other, where you going to meet someone for coffee, and if you have a work thing, like let's just say you're busy doing something for work or whatever, and you dodging to go to the mall to go and sit and have coffee or so, and I'm phoning you, and now you're sitting and having coffee and you see the phone ringing, now you're not taking the call. That's a different story from actually saying to me,
please excuse me.
Or actually telling me, hey baby, after work I'm going to the meeting with James because we're discussing the thing about work, does that, and are we going to Mug and Bean that and there, come fetch me there, or I'll be home X, Y, and Z time. But now, if you're dodging, that already shows shows the intent for me. It's like, why are you being sketchy about it? Why are you being kind of dodge about it? Why are you not telling your husband that, hey, I'm going here and I'm doing this? That doesn't mean you have free reign now to say, yeah, but I must told you I'm coming here on to Mug and Bean. Yeah, but just you telling me and then still going to catch on nonsense doesn't make it right. Just with the contrast of saying you did it without saying anything doesn't mean now that you say it, you still have to be, suspicious about it.
And having said that, I think it's important that both parties be emotionally mature enough to sort of like understand certain things and certain boundaries. So if I'm telling you, baby, look, I need to go meet with so and such at Mug and Bean because I'm busy with, trying to get this deal down or whatever, or we need to discuss A, B, and C. You need to be emotionally mature enough also to say, okay, I understand and know that, okay, and trust my wife, and trust my wife. You can't be the jealous husband and come in there, no, this is not going to happen, or sit there like a creep in the background, or whatever. If it's not like to say, okay, fine, baby, you can join us so we can. That's the approach I take personally. I know not everybody is afforded this opportunity, but if I know we're meeting with someone, Xavier handles it, and it's a guy person. Xavier handles it, and he goes along. The same vice versa. If there's a female in the room or whatever, Xavier takes me along. And the reason we do this, we tag team most things, and the reason we do this a lot of the times is to protect each other, and it's not a jealousy aspect. I never want him to
it's
be
just to not put yourself in an unnecessary
situation, because we do a lot of counseling. So there's never a time when Xavier is alone in the room counseling a woman. The reason for that is that you don't, as much as you can say, I didn't do anything, she can still tarnish his reputation if she's in
she
some
can
state
say,
of mind.
This and that.
So,
and then how do I defend myself in that case?
In that situation. So, I think there are certain boundaries and certain elements that does make certain things difficult, but I think as far as you can, put certain boundaries in place and understand, and when you're in a relationship, be there emotionally present in order to trust this person. Given the fact that people do cheat, it's why we are here and why people shouldn't be cheating. So let's jump into that.
Cool.
Okay, so one of the things is why we shouldn't be cheating is it's going to make you a liar. so that sounds corny, but if people view you, it tarnishes your reputation and the way people see you. So if people have been seeing you as an upstanding man or an upstanding woman and you do the right thing, people see you differently. Now that's why even if you look at the politicians, if you look at these people that are,
these pastors that get exposed.
The pastors that get exposed or whatever. It's a big thing when people see you as you're not a person.
They had this certain view about you.
Yeah, so you're not an integral. You're not a person of integrity. So it tarnishes that. Are we just jumping around, or you want to lay some more commentary?
I also just think that it makes you a liar, but it's also a lot of work to cheat. Is it there?
Well, it's not. It sort of like flows into the next one. It's just you'll get caught eventually. Because
yeah, but here's the thing: it's a lot of work. You have to hide your phone. You have to be careful of slip ups. You have to now, you have to have extra numbers now.
I think in today's life, it's much easier to cheat.
You have to put your WhatsApp on vanishing messages.
Disappearing
and
messages. And there are certain apps that make things easier, which I'm not going to mention because I don't want to give anybody any ideas. But it's still a lot of work because now you have to hide your phone or you have to put passwords on certain things or you're constantly changing your password. And I know that there was this trend on TikTok where like they wait for the guy to sleep to put their fingers on to open up the phones or whatever, or to get their facial recognition or whatever. And it's a concept I don't understand because I don't see the fun in that, or I don't see why it's
And the thing
funny.
is, what are you looking for? Because here's the thing: if you already have the inkling that your partner is doing something untoward, and you now go and unlock their phones in the middle of the night while they're sleeping,
what are you hoping to find?
What are the chances that you're gonna find something?
I don't know. Because
Like 100%, because you're already sensing something's off. You already know, this person's acting strange, they're doing things, they're hiding their phone and because that's the thing that's gonna trigger you to want to go look, isn't
But I
it?
think, especially from a female perspective, when we do this, I think it's important for us to do a bit of introspection. And what I mean by that is that we need to do introspection. By nature, women are insecure. It's just how we are. Because we forever criticizing ourselves, or we've dated someone who's criticized us that cause insecurities. There's a lot of things going on there. So first, do a bit of introspection. Why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you going into your husband's phone or whatever? Because what are you hoping to find? And if there's really cause where it's like, no, this person's really been acting strange, then maybe I think, you can ask certain questions and be upfront with one another and say, okay, look, this is how I feel. Given the fact that women do get gaslit as well. So.
Okay, another point.
Another point, moving along, is relationship misery. Want to comment?
Yeah, but just to extrapolate that a little
So, relationship misery, like if you're going to be cheating on me, like I am not going to be happy because I'm going to be like, how could you do this to me? That was so disrespectful and it hurts. So I don't want to come home to you. I don't want to come home to look at you. It's going to make the atmosphere at home just atrocious. It's just going to be like, I'm going to look at you like you don't want me. How could you do this? How could you bring a third party into our marriage when it was just the two of us? This is a ride or die situation.
Here's where the headlock comes into play. Anka always says, if I had to see that, I would have left long ago. Then I say
it always comes from a point of never.
Then I say it's nice to say that if that person that is in it, now there's children involved, there's a house involved, there's cars involved, there's payments involved, there's loans involved, there's community of property involved. It is how's the church gonna look at you in a certain way? The children's school is gonna this and this. There's so much that you've built this life with this person over X period of time that you have become one, literally, physically, emotionally, mentally, everything. The two have become one. So for someone to sit from the outside and say, I would have left, it's different when the person's in it. And now the headlock comes in where it's like,
I feel like that's an element of manipulation.
That's what I'm saying. Now the headlock comes in where it's like, I want to leave here. But now you start weighing the options, the kinders, the children, now my children are going to be raised without their father. Now it's going to be a situation, go this weekend to your father, this weekend to the mother. Now it's going to be a situation that the school is disrupted. Now this, now that, now that. So that's why sometimes people decide, "Ish, okay, come, let's try and figure this out."
I-
But here's where the problem comes. Now you're figuring it out, but emotionally,
You are not okay.
you're not okay.
Hence, relationship misery.
Now you're there and you're trying to make this thing work. But you know in your heart,
Have you ever eaten something, right, and you have to pay for this? Maybe you order like something at a restaurant, and it's very pricey, but when it comes, it's not lekker. So you're like,
like that story that I had with the cold chips.
Yeah,
and it's
you're
my
like-
last 50 rand and I'm hungry. Now the chips come, it's cold, it's hard, you can see.
And you're
Now
like-
you're thinking, "Ish."
it's gonna be like that.
Now
It's
you're
gonna-
paying for the thing, but you're also thinking,
and,
this wasn't
and
liquor.
what cheating does in a marriage as well, it makes a woman feel unloved. And the minute she feels unloved, believe you me, respect goes out of the door. And so now you have a contentious situation at home. It's not a lekker situation because I'm not feeling loved, you are not feeling respected, and I'm yalla insecure because you were looking around. You have broken the trust that I have given
But
you.
now what happens is now, who's that? What message was that?
Exactly. I'm gonna be like a hawk on top of you because
Where you going?
I'm not feeling secure.
Now you must be home, let's say 6 o'clock. Because you finished work at 5, it takes you about so and so to get home. Then you first go there quick and blah, blah. But I know more or less by 6 you're at home. 5 past 6. It's 5 past 6. Where's this man? Why isn't he at home yet? Why this? Why that? Now your mind is all over the place. Because you're just thinking, is he doing this again? Is he again with that woman?
Yeah,
is
your,
this,
your,
is that?
your
is-
thoughts are eating you alive because first of all, you've broken trust. You've broken something.
Meantime, homie had a puncher. Now you thinking. "Hey,
yeah, but
this
he put
brother-"
himself in that
No,
situation
he
by
definitely
actually
did.
cheating.
No, he definitely did, 100%, and vice versa. But he did. But I'm saying now he says, "Nah, I'm not gonna do that anymore. You can have my phone. You can do." Homie's on his way home. He feels go. Now he must stops on the side, checks the tire up. Homie walks in 10 past 6. Where were you? What? No, baby, I had a puncher. No, you lying. You were going there and there. And now it was really a puncher. But now their trust is so broken
So
that it doesn't matter if it was a puncher or not.
that brings us back to our previous points, which is it's a lot of work. Cheating is a lot of work. 'Cause even dealing with just the consequences after that is so much work because now you have to constantly reassure this person because once trust is broken, it's like a glass that is broken. You can't put it back together in its original form. It's gone.
But here's the other thing also. Is it really worth it? I don't know if that's one of the points, but is it really worth it? Because ultimately, you know they call it the Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule, right? Ultimately, and I think Tyler Perry covered this in Why Did I Get Married extensively, the 80-20 situation. And it's so beautifully shown with what's the woman that plays the lady that the guy leaves her for this young blonde, for this like other chick and whatever. It's one of the singers. It's not Jackie Hill. Nee, maar wat is haar naam wat speel in Tyler Perry's movie?
It's not Tamala Man.
No. She's a singer. I can't remember her name now. But she plays the character where the guy leaves her for this other girl. And then in Why Did I Get Married 2, she comes back. He comes back and then he says to her, yeah, but remember this and remember that and remember how I loved you and remember this day when we went there and there. And then there's that one scene in the kitchen where she's like, yeah, I remember the blood on the floor. I remember how you came home late. I remember this. I remember that. And then it's like, choo. And then she doesn't take the guy back, and then she obviously ends up meeting another guy. But then there's all that insecurities in that relationship. She gets married to the other guy that was working at the shop, and then if that guy comes home late, then she's like, why are you late? Where are you coming from? Does that and the other. Are you cheating on me again? But because of all the insecurities from her previous marriage. But that 80-20 on the guy's part is, you saw this young girl, she looks nice, she smells nice, she has the body, she has the what and the what and the what. Meantime, she's just asking for the card every time. Meantime, she's not a homemaker. Meantime, she's out with her friends clubbing on the weekends. Now homie's sitting there thinking, my ex-wife wouldn't have done this. My
I have a
ex-wife
couple
would
of
have been at
situations
home.
like that.
My ex-wife would have been cooking. Now if I come home from work, there would have at least been a plate. If I now does and
Now
that,
you remember the 80%.
now you're like, Joe, what did I get myself into? So here's the question I'm asking is, was it really worth it? At the time, it looked like a good idea. At the time, you were just looking at that body and that figure. At the time, she was smelling lekker. At the time, she was making oogjes and smiling and she gave you butterflies and all that. But when push came to shove and time came for coming home after work and she's not there. Now you're sitting and thinking, ish, oh, my ex-wife would have now cooked. My ex-wife would have fetched the children now from school. My ex-wife would have done this and this and this. Now you realize in the 80 that you actually left behind.
You left behind. Okay, so there's a couple that I am skipping because they kind of like go into one another. But you when you do cheat, you sort of like you set a poor example for others, and I think this runs into the loss of moral authority, because you set a poor example for others, which means that people look at you and you're like, how are you want to speak on this topic when you're speaking about, you know, being an upstanding person or doing the right thing or whatever? I mean, I know of situations where men have done this and their kids, especially their sons, look at them with utter disrespect. Like they just can't view their father the way they'd always viewed their father, because like, my guy, you telling me one thing, but you yourself did something. So you're putting yourself in a situation that you can't discipline your children, or you can't, you know, try to help somebody else, because they'll tell you straight, really, you're one to talk.
Yeah, and there's where the problem lies. Now you've lost all your credibility. And you're going to come to find out in life that credibility is all you've got. That your word is your bond, your integrity, your reputation is all you've got. That's why when you tarnish someone's reputation, that's why there's a law like what's that where they take
Defamation.
for defamation, because you're literally tarnishing someone's character. You're literally taking someone like for me, as in the spaces that I operate in, the only thing I have is my character. The only thing I have is my reputation. If I mess that up, I have nothing, because the way I make my living is to speak so that people believe what I say, so that they can contribute financially. That's how, when I'm speaking to a client, when I'm speaking to a tenant, when I'm speaking to, my word is my bond. If I say I'm going to do something, I have to execute on it. But if I mess up my reputation, people look at me and say, this guy, he does this and this and the other. Now a story comes out, someone says there was an assault case, does that and the other. Whether it's true or not, that tarnishes my reputation.
Yeah. And this is where I always say that your gift will make room for you, but your character is what sustains you. Which means to say that a lot of the times, yes, we have the good looks. Yes, we have the gift of the gab. Yes, we can do certain things that get us into spaces. And it's going to be lacquer, and we're going to be like, yeah, you know, I can do this. I'm the man, I'm the woman, I'm the what. But your character is what keeps you there. So, you know, if you don't have integrity in what you do, people are going to look at you and not going to either want to deal with you, work with you, speak to you, or even refer to you. And I think it doesn't only happen for the space that Xavier works in. I think in a lot of instances, even in any kind of work setting, that if people think that if you're able to do that to your own wife, who am I? Can I trust you? Because that speaks of the fact that you yourself, you don't have integrity. And if you don't have integrity in one space, what's to say that you don't have integrity in all spaces? So you know, I'm always going to second guess you. I'm always going to, I do sort of like think if the person that you promise to love, you can't hold to high esteem, what's to say about the rest of us? I mean, what are we? Like, there's nothing.
If you can betray the trust of someone that you stood in front of your family and your friends
and you
your
promised to
pastor
love
and whatever, and you said, I'm going to do this thing. If you betraying that person's trust, where do I fit into the picture? And I was listening to another podcast where they asked business people, how do they trust someone that they go into business with? And they said, the one guy said, I actually look at that. The first guy doesn't even have a sense of responsibility to the people around him. Where do I fit into the picture? Now I go into a 15 million rand deal with the O, and
which
I put
is
in half
essentially
my
a
money.
marriage contract.
Does someone walk away with the thing? He then did it to his wife. He then does it to his children. He then does it here, there. Where do I still fit into the picture? He'll most betray me.
And guys, while we're on this topic with workspaces and all of that, let us speak about this thing. And I think this is a trending topic. And they had it on the radio. You brought it up just before the show. Of work wives and work husbands, my guy. This is cheating for me, I'm sorry.
That's just plain cheating.
It's just plain cheating.
That's not even emotional cheating or what. Yeah, that's just cheating.
It's like acceptable cheating. There's nothing acceptable about cheating ever. If I have a wife at home...
that's my wife.
Yeah,
That's
well,
it.
my husband. Sorry, guys. That's it. I don't have a work husband. There's no such thing. We can have friends, but there's boundary to that friendship as well. Especially when I have a male friend at work, there is boundaries to it. First of all, and secondly, is my husband clued up on this friendship? Does he know? Because essentially, what happens is most of my male friends that I still kept in contact with became Xavier's friends. He can call them up, they speak, vice versa. There's no such thing at 11 o'clock at night. I am speaking to some male friend. Oh no, it's just platonic. You are leaving room for other people to have conversations with you and you to get into a tacky situation. Because believe you me, when you are in a bad space with your spouse or you are in a crappy, you guys are just not doing well because you're fighting for finances, you're fighting for this, and then there's someone who is on the outside, who is a third party, who can come in and say soothing things, who can show you the bit of love that you haven't been receiving because he's under pressure. Now you're starting to think, you know what, is this really what I want? This guy isn't who I married, he's not the same. Yes, he's not going to be the same person you married, because you guys grow and you guys change and you go with situations as it comes along. But this is just a rough patch. That third party in that conversation, that soothing conversation, is going to look so much more attractive. So there are certain boundaries that needs to be put in place. Don't put yourself in that situation, because the reality of the matter is the consequences are so much more to deal with in that one moment of pleasure.
Here's a question, a closing question, right? That basically leads into just what you said now. Question for the viewers. Please comment in the comment section. Can men and women be platonic friends?
I don't think so.
Why?
Because I've been there.
Guys, answer in the comment section, please. Can men and women be platonic friends?
The reason why I said no, I've been there, I've got my own personal experience. I've had mostly guy friends. And I tried to justify it for the longest time. But when I got married, I put boundaries in place. I put proper boundaries in place, because when I was younger, things were different. Different things happened. So for me personally, no. If that friendship doesn't make a transition over to your spouse, then unfortunately you cannot maintain that friendship. And I always speak about this all the time. So you know about Paulo, right? We went to the States together, and we were best of best friends. I'm talking about, we spent a lot of time together. But when he got married, and I didn't really know he was even seeing somebody. But when he got married, I told him, your wife needs to be your best friend. That's something we both understood. Like, your wife needs to be your best friend. And that's the transition that needed to take place. As much I understood my place as a friend, because I wasn't married or whatever, I understood, and his wife needed to, and that was the end of the story. His wife is his best friend, and that's it. And moving along, I got married, and you are my best friend. So I think it's important that I've been there before. Like, you need to put boundaries in place, and that's okay, given the fact that we were only friends. So it's important.
From a male perspective, Clay, do you think guys and girls can be normal, just friends? From a male perspective, especially if and I had this conversation. There's another podcast that I did with another friend of mine, that's gonna come out soon, and he asked me the same question, and I actually said to him, from a guy's perspective, especially if the woman is good looking. Remember, men are attracted to looks, right? One of the first things that attracts a guy to a woman is going to be your physical appearance, right? If the woman is a good looking woman, there's always gonna be this thing for any man, like, this man is now when you start becoming close friends and all of this, as much as you're trying to keep it like platonic, no, it's just my friend, the second the door of opportunity opens, 99.9% of gents are gonna say,
You're gonna say no.
Yeah, bro, she is now. You in. You see, so and this was tested. There was actually a podcast that I watched not so long ago, well, last year sometime, where they also had this argument about can men and women just be friends, and the women on the podcast were like, no, they can, there's nothing wrong. So the actual podcaster who said, okay, phone one of your guy friends and tell him, hey, look here, come, let's do something tonight, and then you hear what he says. So he said, put it on loudspeaker, let's all hear. Phones the guy. So he asked, do you have an actual friend? And she said, yeah, I do have a friend. Then he said, okay, phone that guy friend and tell him, no, can't you come over tonight, please? I miss you, and da 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 da. And then hear what he says. She phones him, puts him on loudspeaker. Hey, how are you? Hey, good, good, good. And you can hear first in the beginning, his demeanor is very like professional. Like, nah, good, I'm good. How are you? Good. Yeah, blah, blah. Like very like, hey, this is just my friend. Nothing more, nothing less. Yeah. She's like, listen, I actually miss you. Yo, you then hear that man's whole approach shift. You literally hear him like, oh, okay. So, what do you want to do? Okay, no problem. What time should I be there? His whole attitude shifted to like puppy mode. Like, yeah, okay, no problem. I'll be there. When she dropped the call, the guy said, no, that's exactly my point. That guy was already looking at you with that to say, this one is nice. If I have opportunity,
and you friend-zoned him.
And you friend-zoned him. So even if a woman friend-zones a guy, doesn't mean the guy doesn't find her attractive.
Yeah, even if you're in a space of, no, we're just platonic friends, doesn't mean the other person is just a platonic friend. And you'll never really know the person's true intentions until you're in a situation. But yeah. And for me personally, if the wife isn't comfortable with that friendship anymore, then I think it's just appropriate to cut the ties or whatever, because, you know, I would never tell you who your friends are or shouldn't be, but I think people have fizzled out themselves. And I think that's because of the spheres we work in. It's not true for everybody. I think some people must make intentional decisions when they do that. But on going into closing remarks or whatever, I think cheating is never okay. There's never justified. I can understand why some people do it, because there's things that happen or whatever. I have understanding, but there is no justification thereof. It's absolutely wrong. I don't think that even talking to somebody or all of that is disrespectful towards my spouse. I don't sit and talk to other people. We both have our phones. You set up my phone. Your face opens my phone. My face opens your phone. Worst case scenario, your phone is flat. You take my phone. I mean, yesterday whole morning you had my phone. Messages came through. If we don't have that freedom, that transparency between each other, then, you know, I think there is cause for questioning or whatever. But I think cheating is just a no. And let's stop justifying certain small things. No, but we didn't do that. No, but no. Cheating is cheating and class.
If ever you have to dodge, and if ever you can't be 100% transparent with your partner, then there's an intention somewhere. Because you have to be able to be transparent and say, hey, look, here's the thing. Like Anka saying, here's my phone, here's your phone. You can take it when you want. You can do what you want. It's up to you. Then we know.
Okay, just to get into all the comments, we've got Llewellyn Oliver that says, when you're married, all your friendships must include your spouse, and all parties must be comfortable with the friendships. I do agree. Then just backtracking. Here we have Felicia says Snapchat. I think that is the
that's what you were
platforms,
saying about
and then the Inside Show says Jay Paris is that guy. Anyway, and then Clayton says, oh my goodness, so I'm going to go with that.
What guy? We were talking about you, bro.
We were talking about guys that pick out their pictures, take 100 pictures and then put filters on the pictures because like this isn't right and that isn't right. And someone who is on the Insights platform says that Jay Paris is that guy. and then Romano says overthinking. Romano Daniel says overthinking heavy, and the person you were looking for in that movie, Tyler Perry movie, was Jill Scott. She played Sheila.
Scott. Yes,
that is true.
Person. You see, the people know what I was talking about. But ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to our time. So we got to call it a day. But thank you so much for watching. For those of you who are watching on Living With My Ex, please go and... for those of you watching on the Inside Show, thank you for watching on the Inside Show. Anka and I also have a different platform called Living With My Ex. That's also basically the same show, which we also stream onto that platform over there. So please do go show some love and support over onto that channel as well. You can just also sub on that channel. Just show some support over there. And then, of course, on the Inside Show, like we always do here, on a Monday, I'm with Jay. On a Wednesday, I'm with Anka. And then the other shows that happen during the week, which none of the other shows have opened yet. But thank you for joining us. It's been an absolute honor, pleasure to spend some time with you. Is there closing remarks from you? Or
I said my SIDS.
Guys, see you on next week, Wednesday. I love you. Goodbye.
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new show.
Xavier used to be my boyfriend, then my fiance, and then my husband, so he's my ex-boyfriend.
We decided that we needed to spice this up.